We
It
got
was,
there. We got there. It took
we
22
got there.
episodes and we got there.
22 weeks. Well, I was joking with Rich before we started recording. I'm on tour. I'm in a hotel room. My internet connection's terrible. And also I'm in too good of a mood. I was like, I don't know, do we record do an episode under these circumstances? This is a lot of stuff working against our pod, but I don't know. I guess, Rich is kind of usually in a good mood.
Yeah, usually. I
So,
mean, it's good. It's good for people who do listen and watch to actually see people who are in like the worst possible shape at some point of their life, and to be actually be like 20 weeks later, be like, yo, I'm in a great mood, you know. So it's progress, and that's
yeah,
really good to see.
that's interesting. Yeah, that's a very interesting perspective point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is crazy, right? Because like it was suicide watch for a minute, you know?
Yeah, we were there. It was definitely grim times. Yeah.
I just couldn't see the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was miserable. I was laid up on the couch. I couldn't walk. I couldn't get my own snacks or
Yeah.
drinks. Like I was so dependent on Kathleen to like do everything for me, and like I couldn't even support my own weight at the very beginning.
Right. Yep. You were legit like couch ridden. You couldn't do much of anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I just didn't like I couldn't foresee a future that was any semblance of the past.
Right. And I think
And
even when you even
yeah, I guess I
mentioned it,
lost a couple of pounds. Okay.
yeah, I think even when you mentioned looking into like like the future and like when things get better, even then it was always with like a like nah, I don't think, but it's not gonna happen though. It was always kind of like yeah, if it gets better, but I don't,
Yeah.
it's not gonna, one of this, but thankfully you pushed through it and it got to the point that it's at where you're actually up and doing your work and on tour, which is awesome. Seeing you out there doing your thing is like something that you didn't see, 22 weeks
Yeah.
ago. And it's great. It's great that things can actually come back to some sort of normal.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I guess, I lost a few pounds just because like I wasn't getting my own meals anymore, so it was like Kathleen wasn't gonna, you know, keep feeding you and feeding you. And so yeah, I was able to lose a couple pounds, and then that spirals a little bit because like you feel a little better, you look a little better,
Yeah.
you cheer up a little bit,
Yeah.
then you look a little, then you feel a little better, then you eat a little better, then you look a little better, then you feel a little better. So that kind of does the thing. I mean, whatever. I'm not like svelte,
Right.
but
Right. You're better. It's
I
better. You're better than you were.
I'm back to my pre-pandemic weight,
Well,
for
that's good.
sure.
That's good because
Because that's
everybody else is like at like, a plus, like their pre-pandemic weight is like something everybody wishes they were at. Everybody right now is like, fuck, how did I gain 15 pounds? Yeah.
well, so before pandemic, what I you know I have two pairs of jeans that I switch in and out of,
Mm-hmm.
and then pandemic started, and it was just sweatpants and gym shorts,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice that I was gaining. And then in July, I got booked for a comedy show.
Mm-hmm.
Connecticut was open for comedy, so I went up and I couldn't get my jeans on,
Oh, no.
and I was like, oh man. So I like performed in gym shorts, which is like a no no, and for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So I performed in gym shorts. I actually did pretty good, and then I was like, I went to like DXL to get like new pants
Mm-hmm.
because like I'm so much bigger now. And then the other day, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe at this point. I'm like hanging out with my buddy, and my pants are like I have like pulled the belt too tight, so
Uh-huh.
like the
It like
the
bunches
pants
up
are
a little
like
bit.
bunched
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh man. So I put on my old pants and they fit again. I was
Oh,
like,
awesome.
yeah,
That's a good feeling, man. That's a small
pre-pandemic
victory.
meal, baby.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Yeah.
I speaking of things not fitting, I put on, so today was really nice out here. It's like 75 degrees. It was like a perfect day. It's going to be shitty tomorrow. So I was like, I'm going to like actually go outside. I'm going to do some stuff. I'm going to wear some shorts when I go running a couple errands. So I went into my shorts drawer and I was like, yo, there's this like pair of maroon shorts that fit right above the knee where I really like these shorts, right? So I put them on and I got them to like I've always worn my pants like really low on my waist, like super low. It's like a weird
Yeah.
spot, but I got them like
For Long Island.
it's very true. Yeah, it's very
Yeah, Long
true.
Island.
It's a specific look. Um, I got my shorts up to about like I don't know, 3/4 up my thigh, right, and right where you would start like grabbing the front to button them.
Uh-huh.
And like I'm pulling them out. I had probably like what 2 more inches to go, and they just stopped right on my legs. And I was like, all right, so these fit last year. And I'm like thinking, and I looked at my legs and I thought, and I'm like, oh shit, I've been weightlifting again. My legs have gotten so big from weightlifting, I didn't even realize it, that my pants can't get up past my fucking legs. I was like, I had a moment of like panic where I was like, am I gaining this much weight? And do I look this much? Because like, I have issues with the way I look and fluctuating weight and all this sort of stuff. So I didn't know where I was at for a second, and I got panicked. And then I like came back to earth for a second, and I was like physically like tugging on my shorts, being like, okay, we're at this point in my body, and it was literally just my legs. I was like, okay, my legs are preventing my pants from getting up. So I was actually like, for a second, I was like really scared, and then I was like, all right, that's cool. If my legs are big, that's cool. That means I'm getting stronger. So. But I had to throw those pants, or I put them in like a box. I was like, "Well, can't use these anymore." So I like tossed them over my shoulder.
I like that box. I have a box of like, maybe one day I'll get
Maybe
back
one
down
day,
there.
yeah, the maybe one day box, yeah.
Maybe one day I'll get back down there.
Dude, and it's funny too because okay, so shorts that I bought last year don't fit because of my legs. But then you probably noticed that I posted a couple pictures of that Nine Inch Nails shirt and that Metallica shirt that my mom sent up with my
From high
sister
school.
from high school that still fit. So I'm like, weird. Was I just really big in high school? Am I just really big always? Was I small? I don't know what the logic is there on like my body, but high school was fucking 30 years ago now, and I was able to put both those shirts on and they fit. So weird. So weird.
Seriously, 30 years ago?
Yeah. Let's say 27 years ago.
30?
Yeah. 96 5 4 3 2. Yeah, 92 I would have started high school. So next year I'll be 30 years.
Oh, since you started.
Yeah, like ninth grade.
Those 3 years are important right now.
They are. It's true, they are. I was talking to somebody last night, and I was like, "Yeah, I think I've known you for like what 2 years now." They're like, "Nah, dude, we've known each other for 3.5 years." Like, I think we all kind of are starting to do this. This last year didn't exist as far as like concept of time. And it's wild. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I met you in 2017. Like it's just fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. The thing with that stuff, it like I feel like for as hard of a person as I am to get along with, I retain friends like for decades.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking because I made a couple of friends that are just we just started hanging out in June and July because like we would go do open mics on
Mhm.
Long Island,
Mhm.
and it was like new comics that I mean, they're not new. They've been around for a while, but
But it's like new to your friend circle, right?
yeah, well, we were at different points in our careers, so
Okay.
I wasn't going to the same places that they were going.
Right.
And now that I'm home and there's no city anything,
Mhm.
and you know, it was the summer, so there was no touring yet.
Right.
So I made friends with a couple of these like cats, and it was just like weird to think like these are my new friend, like these are my new friends, right? So I know them for like 6 months. I only know you guys for like 6 months, a year, whatever it is now,
Yeah.
9 months. And I'm like, I'll introduce them. Like we'll go to On the Border, and I'll be like, oh, my buddy Chris is coming. He's gonna hang out with us or whatever. Or whatever. And it's like, oh yeah, I've known Chris for. And then you do the thing, you do the math, and you're like, I've known Chris for 20 years, man. I've known you guys for 9 months. I've known Chris for 20 years. And then like I'll go through it and I'm like, who's like some newer friends? And I'm like, oh, Pat McCarthy's a newer friend.
Mhm.
And then it's like, no, bro. Pat McCarthy's 03
Yeah.
or 04 maybe.
Yeah.
Like that's not a newer friend
Yeah.
anymore. But it's just like retained friends. Like I have all these relationships from forever ago. Like
Dude, it's
my homegirl
wild.
Jody that we hang out. I know since she's 11. Since
Yeah.
I'm 12.
How do you make friends as an over 40 person? That's been increasingly more on my mind. Is that getting older and just realizing how tame of a life I have and how small of a circle of friends I really have. And then I'm like, do I need to like socialize more? I mean, let's take the pandemic thing out of it. You know what I mean? Like obviously
Right.
I'm like nobody's going out to fucking socialize in big parties and shit, but it's like how at this age do you like you have the comedy thing, and I'm sure there's like you just demonstrated there's new people and there's people that you share interests with. You can make friends that way. Where am I gonna make friends? Like how do you do it?
All right. So two things right now. One, personally, I mean, I can make friends at a Walmart. Like I'm very social.
Yeah.
I talk to everybody. I think I'm charming.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to
Right.
hey,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, and I try to make,
I've
I
witnessed
try to
that.
make,
Yeah, I've been with you
yeah, I
when
try
you've
to
done
make
that. Sure.
everybody have fun, like I want everyone in,
Yeah.
So I mean I can make friends at a morgue, I think. So but I think you're selling yourself way short because
Yeah.
it's like every time I talk to you, there's a new guy that's mentioned or a new girl that's mentioned. You have two different bands, so that's 8 people right there. Normal people don't have 8 people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like straight up a normal housewife suburban. She's got like 2 or 3 people that she talks to.
Mhm,
Maybe
mhm.
one of the other kids' moms. You know what I mean? They're not friends.
Yeah.
You got at least 8, 10, 12, 15 tight bros from way back.
Yeah. Yeah,
Plus
that's true.
the 2 bands. Plus the girl who babysits your dog and Hunley and
Yeah.
Jim and
Yeah.
like I mean.
Yeah, that's fun. Okay, so now that you say it, right, and I visualize it, like I never mean to say I don't have any friends. Like if I get real woe is me about it, I'll be like I have no friend, nobody, because
Nobody cool likes me.
my only like communication with people will be very short, like oh you going to that thing or did you see that thing, whatever. And that's like when you get in like a depressive episode. You think about those conversations, you're like, that person doesn't care. They're just humoring me. They're just listening to, they're just whatever. But then like what you just said, you're whatever. Now it's like, yeah. So what you just said, like Jim invited me to come hang out at his house tonight. Actually, he shot me a message tonight. He did.
And you didn't go.
I didn't go. Well, because I had to do the podcast.
You have friends to spare.
I have just woo. He invited me, so that was awesome. I was like, no, thank you. I got to do a late podcast with Neil. It's just like around 9:00. He invited me over. I was like, I don't really know what time we're gonna do. So Jim invited me over. Jen watches the dog. She's amazing. She always hits me up. She's like, try this new vegan restaurant. This, just like things that people know that I'm interested in, like the dudes in the band. Same thing. I think I've had a problem my whole life with recognizing what like caring is from people. You know what I mean? Like I have this issue with like, oh, they're talking to me and putting these things out to me specifically because they thought about me. They care about me being happy or interested in this thing. And I need to like embrace it. I have this like this issue with like being like, yo, man, all right, cool. Like feeling like, oh, I have people who care about me. It's a tough little, it's a narrow little thing like this in my brain that like comes up every once in a while that I'm like, oh, I don't have a friend that would care. But now that we're literally, I'm like unpacking it right now as we're talking. It makes total sense. Like you just said, 8 dudes in bands in as one thing. Like you. I'm like, yeah.
One hobby. That's one of your
just
hobbies.
one thing. One thing.
That's
yeah.
your hobby. That's not work.
Yeah.
That's not your business. That's not
Yeah.
dog moms.
Yeah.
That's not. You know what I mean? Like that's one
little
aspect
thing.
of
Yeah.
personality. You got 8 bros that are tight.
Yeah.
8 bros that are tight that would sleep in a van with you.
That's true. That's
Yeah, I
true.
would do yo, the bonds people have, like the bonds you have with guys in bands, like there's a lot of people of the 30 people that watch this.
Yeah.
I don't know how many are in bands. I'm gonna tell you right now, the bond you form with a person you're in, and I don't care if you're in the band for 6 weeks or 6 decades.
Mm-hmm.
That person is always, you're always going to have a shared thing with that person.
Yeah.
I don't get along with them maybe, or we don't talk very often. I'll tell you right now, if Steve Gachet called me tomorrow and was like, I wrote a riff, do you want to be in a band? I'd be like, yeah, of course I want to be in a band with you.
Yeah.
You're the best guitarist, the most fun guitarist I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
I would love to play music with you. I love it. We tried doing This Year's Model again because it was just like, it's just too fun to play with Steve. Like he just writes stuff that's right up my alley. You know what I mean? It's just, and that's a bond you form from just waking up in a van with a dude.
Yeah.
Like, not just dudes, Karen, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I just used the word dudes.
Yes.
I realized yesterday because my friend does a gay sex podcast, and
gay slash sex or like gay sex.
It's called We're Having Gay Sex.
Oh, okay, that's very specific.
And we were talking, we were both sharing, and then I realized that kids would be like, oh, you're misgendering people. I'm not misgendering people. I am blanketing.
Yeah, no, totally.
Like,
yeah, it's umbrella. Yeah.
I say, like, I call everyone man, or I call everyone bro, or I call everyone baby. Like, it's like, I'm not separating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're
like,
all the one. You're all it.
Like, if anything, I'm more progressive than you guys. You know what I'm saying? Because like someone like if Ashley got off stage and she just killed it, I'm like, yo, bro.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Lady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if she came off stage and like had a rough go, I'd be like, all right, baby, you know. You know what I mean? Like I know I've called you baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, hey, sweetie, how you doing? You know, it's not like a gender thing. It's just like it's a non-gender thing.
Non-gender specific kind of way. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pro pronouns.
There was I think I might have talked about this once, maybe not. I learned my, I'll just like straight up, I learned my lesson about pronouns when I lived in California. I lived in Northern California, and I was working at this restaurant called Gather in Berkeley, and it was like a new American style, like a kind of upper, not like class, like classy, but it was like expensive American food. You know, they had like charcuterie boards and like.
We ate there.
We may have, yeah. I think we might have, yeah. It was like fancy, small. Like I worked at the bar, and it was like.
Yeah, the bar area was like a real small.
Super
side.
small, yeah, small side, yeah, that's right. And so like it was my first like couple shifts, and I was working with this girl who was training me, and it's kind of like I would do my, because I'm the East Coast. We have a vibe, right? Like just this. Hey, how's it going? What's going? You know, like, hey, how you doing? How you doing? You know, just go up and say, how's everybody doing? You know, what can I get you? You know, and I think.
And for the lady, she's like, I ain't no lady.
I think, honestly, I think like I was being watched by the girl who's training me, and I may have said a gender specific word, right? And then I went back and she was like, hey, when you're talking to tables, you should use non-gendered terminology and just make sure that you use they or them or folks or everybody. And I was like, I had no fucking idea what she was talking about. And this was my ignorance.
Too. That's like,
yeah,
that's early on in the movie.
Yeah, it was not as prominent as it is today. In its like, you know, forefront of everything. And I was just like, what do you, like, I had no clue. And that's when I learned I was educated on the importance of it. And from that point forward, I always use folks. Folks is my go-to. Yeah. Hey, folks.
I had written a joke a while ago. I don't, whatever. Where I was like, because I say guys. I'm like, you guys.
Yep.
And I'm like.
That's what I said. I did. That's what I said. I said, hey, guys. That's what I said. That is right. Yep.
And I'm not being disrespectful. I mean people. Mm-hmm. You guys. Mm-hmm. You people.
Obviously,
but if I say you people, that's not a good. Like, you're gonna rather I say you guys.
Yeah, those are good times. Those good times. Well, man, keeping friends. You know, thank you for bringing that up. That was a good enlightening little tidbit, because I was.
Yeah, dude. And like, I know you don't talk to the dudes a lot, but like, you got a lot of folks in New York and Long Island who would like hide a body for you. You know.
That's good to know. I do have trouble. I admittedly have. I might even have anxiety about it. Just keeping in contact with people who I don't think care as much as I know they do. It's this fucking weird thing, like race, right? Race and I could probably have a conversation every single day, every day of the week about anything, right? We love each other, but we don't. Why? Because because I don't fucking reach out, and then it's like, oh, somebody doesn't reach, then the other person's like, oh, we don't have to.
Yeah, but we'll do like those Zooms. We were doing those Zooms.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And they invited you every time.
Yep.
Every time I got an invite, the following sentence was, invite Rich. I'm like, you invite Rich.
You're friends with him?
You're welcome to it.
Yeah, it's good to reassess sometimes and just be like, yo, you know what? People do care, and it's a good feeling.
I hung with your homies the other day.
My homies? What about them?
I hung with Poodle.
Yep.
And Frankie.
Yep. How was that?
It was fun. That's the first time I met Frank.
Really? Good guy. We
played a show in like 2005. These Enzymes in my chem.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we met. I don't think we spoke. But then Poodle showed him some stuff I did on Instagram,
mm-hmm.
and like, let's say he became a fan, but he thinks I'm funny.
Yeah.
He supports me on the internet, and me and Dubin had plans to go to this restaurant in the town town over from where Frankie and Poodle live.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Dubin was talking to Frank and was like, oh, we're going to go to that place everyone likes. And then I was like, to Dubin, I was like, if you're bringing a date, I'm bringing a date. And I grabbed Poodle. And then it turned out that, Poodle was Frankie's date. And
right, exactly.
But no, Frank's a good guy. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's super. I mean, he's from the moment I met him, I worked for him throughout up till this day. He's been like a friend, he's really solid. Same with Poodle, man. I met Poodle through Mark Hundley long ago. That guy is great. Like, just great people.
I hadn't hung out with him in like 8 years, probably. I probably haven't hung out with him since he had his son.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, like, we didn't miss a beat, bro. Like, just such a good guy. Just like.
That's true friendship right there. That's what you and I have gone through many times,
You know what I learned this? Like, that's what adult friendship is.
Yes.
So I went to high school with this girl, Natalie Vazilla.
Mm-hmm.
Such a doll. She's a sweetheart. And we'll go. She lives in Vegas now, and we'll go. Oh, you met her.
Natalie. Yeah, I know Natalie. Yeah, sure. Yep.
So we'll go. I mean, not anymore. Now I make it a point to check in,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
she checks in. Like we're much better about it. But we would go 2 years, 3 years without like no
Yeah.
exchange of information at all. No text, no phone, no email, no nothing,
Yeah.
no any 4 years even.
Wow.
And one day we were hanging out, and she was like, "You know what I like about our friendship is that we can go 6 months without talking, and it's like we just spoke yesterday."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh shit!" And when she said that, I was like, "All right, I'm gonna make it a point to like try to be
Yeah.
a little bit better. I want to be a little bit better, and I try to be a little bit better with everybody.
Yeah.
But there's just certain people, you speak to when you speak to.
Right. Yeah. That's what it's a difference between like younger age friendship and, like you said, adult friendship. It's like
Yeah, because
you
I think when you're
pick up where
younger
you
and
left
like you
off.
go like, let's say you go 6 months without talking to somebody, like, is Ben mad at me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I haven't heard from him in so long. It's like, nah, bro, shit happens. Things got out of hand.
Yeah. It's like people have a kid, bought
Yeah,
a house.
I made friends with this guy Mike in Florida like a while back from comedy, and I hadn't spoken to him the whole pandemic, and then I went to look for him. I couldn't find him on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and so I hit him up on Instagram. I'm like, "Did you block me? Like, was it the Kobe joke?" And he's like, "No, bro. What happened? I don't know." But he deleted me at some point, and that's all right. But we're adults.
That's funny. It's hitting a lot of fucking nails on the head today. Is I today I went
Killing
out,
it, baby.
I went to bring this old friend of mine who I used to work at. He used to be the head brewmaster of Trinity Brewhouse, where I still work and did work. He has his own beer company now in Providence, and he has part of the brewery is like a pizzeria and like a bar and like a hangout thing. It's really cool. It's like in this factory that they repurpose, and then it's got brick oven pizza. So he through the grapevine had somebody tell me like, "Yo, I want to try Rich's pepperoni for the pizza." I was like, "Fuck, all right, cool." So made some stuff, brought it over there today. I hit him up on Instagram, said, "Hey man, I'm gonna just stop by some point this week, whatever." Went by, he tried it out, and he's like, "Just fucking, it's great, great." And bunch of people, holy shit, this is great. I was like, "Stop it! I don't know how to react to positive reinforcement. This is really weird." I was like, it's like cool. I didn't know what to say. Anyway, thing was, Sean is the owner and the dude who he's the owner. And he was like, "Yo, you still have my number?" And I was like, looked at my phone, put in Sean. I'm like, "No, I don't." He's like, "What the fuck, man?" You know what I mean? Like I should have had this guy's number. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where there's no reason why I shouldn't. So I like instantly was like, "Oh, what's the number?" I put his number in, and then I just like in my head I was like, "At what point did I make the decision to delete this person from my life?" You know what I mean? Like, why did I do? Oh, I got a new phone, sure, but like, you can't use that excuse anymore. Like, your contacts are saved; they're in the cloud somewhere. As soon as you get a new phone, they get uploaded again. So I'm like, why did I make that decision? I just thought it was funny that I kind of did the same thing. I was like, I'm never gonna speak to this guy anymore. Where he's like only 2 miles away from me, and he's like a very prolific person in like the restaurant, beer, like small Providence community. So it's like, what an idiot I am.
Yeah, things happen.
Because though it's amplified by the fact that he was like, "Yo, this is awesome. I want to probably use this for our pizza, this, that." And I was like, "Awesome, and I don't have your phone number." But it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, that's one thing though. You gotta learn how to navigate that socially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta be like, "Yo, let me get your number again, bro. I lost it."
Dog ate my phone. I don't know where your number is.
Like, "Yo, you know what happened, man? My wife. We were like walking and we were hiking." Start making how you lost the phone in the woods.
Halfway through the story, and he's whatever, man. Here's my number.
He's like, "All right, whatever, man. Here's my number." He's like, "I got customers. Can we just?"
So what's up with you, man? How's day 4 treating you? Just to touch on your journey so far. You're in it. You're 4 days in, right?
There was one more thing I wanted to talk about. Old friends, new friends. Come on. Day 4. Yeah.
And it's going well.
Yeah. I'm having a great time, man. This is
Where are
this
you
is what
right
I'm
now?
supposed to be. What?
Where are you right now?
I'm in well, not this is where I'm supposed to be. I am in Fort Wayne or whatever.
Yeah.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
All right. That's good,
Uh,
man.
just about 3 hours south of Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Where are you off to tomorrow, or do you have a day off or something?
Nope,
No days
tomorrow I am
off.
in Dayton, Ohio.
Mm, the cradle of civilization.
What is it? Dayton, Dayton. Someone has a joke. I'm gonna like Dayton in New York is weird because it's in Ohio. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's so stupid.
That's
I
a
love
stupid joke.
it.
That's great.
Dayton, New York is weird because it's in Ohio. God damn it. Yeah, man. I'm in Fort Wayne. Yesterday was Fort Wayne. First day was Kaiser, West Virginia.
How's that?
Yo, I can't wait to go back.
Are you serious? That's awesome. That's
The
awesome.
dude who throws the shows there, his name is Tate Griffin. He's an ex-independent wrestler.
Uh huh.
He still promotes independent wrestling.
Okay.
He owns a comic book shop in Cumberland, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't want to be friends with someone more than I want to be friends with them. Like everything I learned about the guy, I'm like,
Is he single?
yeah, right? I'm like, I could fuck you.
Tate Griffin. That definitely
Tate Griffin.
sounds like
Totally
a
fake name.
wrestling.
It's his wrestler's name.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, totally fake name. And then so his dad was at the show, and I'm like, oh, Mr. Griffin. And he's like, man. Yeah, man, good dude. Throws a great show. He applies like, and you know how like oh, now we talk about applying band stuff to comedy stuff.
Yes, yes.
He applies wrestling stuff to comedy stuff.
Okay.
So the way he would promote a wrestling match to get people who are like fringe
Mm-hmm.
fans or haven't ever been to a independent show before, they want to. He applies those same tactics.
Right, right.
Comedy gets people to come out, and then the same way we would, our 5 boys that we want to always bring with us, or
Right.
5 bands that he's got his crew that always comes and supports, like
That's
whatever
awesome.
it is that he's doing, and it's really cool, man. Tate Griffin, and he does like stuff all over like that West Virginia, Maryland, like where they do this.
Were-
He does stuff all over that area. So
Yeah.
anyone watching me as a comic or whatever, get in touch with him to do shows.
You
Tell
know,
him I sent you. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. Dude, this Red Bull makes me talk a lot fast. Bang. What else? Uh, what I wanted to say is because you were saying how you have trouble accepting praise.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yo, I just today. So I've been doing well.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy's doing well. My YouTube channel's doing well. My TikTok's doing very well. Like
Yeah,
I'm doing
that's
well.
great, great.
And I'm starting to get people who have heard of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd always have like a couple of people from like the band stuff,
Right, right.
but I didn't have like a new product. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Whereas now, you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
now the comedy is a very viable product.
Yeah.
Like there's so much, like I have so much content on the internet, and I'm touring, and I feel, and I'm a strong comic. Like it's not like, oh, Neil's a starting out comic. It's like,
Right.
oh no, he's a comic. He hangs with the big dogs.
Right.
He's a comic. So now that I have this thing to present, people are starting to like two people, but it's people.
Dude, it's exactly.
You know,
It's a start. Yeah, it's
people.
yeah.
That's how it starts
Yeah.
with people.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out. I didn't know who to, and I hope he doesn't mind that I'm like airing it out right now. But I reached out to Adam because I was like, I know that he has like some anxiety
Mhm.
issues. Like he's someone I can talk to about this. Like I don't know just how you like when the guy's like, oh, a guy you through the grapevine finds out that your pepperoni's the dopest, and
Right.
he's like, oh, like, and you're like, I don't know how to process this phrase. Like, I don't. Same thing when someone comes up to me and is like, yo, I follow you. I found you on TikTok. I can't wait to see this. And I'm like,
Yeah. Whoa.
what the
Yeah, man.
what? So I reached out to Adam and I was like, like, did you have trouble adjusting to that? Like,
Mm.
how did you? And he was like super honest. He's like, I still haven't adjusted.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, every time someone praises me, I'm like, is it gonna turn into making fun of me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it? And it was just like, what I said to him was like, I was like, it's a bummer for you, but for me, it like validates how I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's a little both for both of us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's right.
It's
So
it's
it's like, yeah, it's just like, you just gotta like, that's something we gotta figure out. Like, how do you? That could be like a whole other episode. I think.
definitely,
Like, how do you
yeah, it
process
definitely
things?
processing that and working through it. That's a good point because it's funny that we're talking about this because I actually told one of the so there's this company in Rhode Island. It's called Barrett's Garden. They make all vegan cheeses and stuff. And over at the place I was at, they use their cheese and stuff and their products over at the pizza place. And I met one of the guys from Barrett's Garden, and he happened to be there, and he was trying my stuff, and he was the one who was just like immediately like, yo, this is awesome, whatever, whatever. And then at the end, when I said bye to him, I kind of gave him like the fist bump and everything. I was like, hey, thank you so much for trying my stuff. And he was like, I'm really excited about your stuff. I'm like, he had his mask on. I had my mask on. I saw in his eye, like his eyes got big. And he was like, man, I'm really excited. This is great. It was nice meeting you. And he's like, we're going to be in touch. He was like, straight up, he's like, we're going to, and I was like, I like legit, I looked at him and I was like, I'm so happy you're saying that. I just want you to know. And I straight up with him was like, I don't get excited about anything until it's already happened for at least a week. Like, I am like so apprehensive to get excited about anything that might be good from me.
Even when it happened,
Mm-hmm.
you're still so conditioned
Like, what's going to go wrong?
to not allow yourself
Yeah.
to feel joy.
Yep. Yeah. So he laughed and he was like, dude, I totally get it. And I was like, but I just want you to know that I am 110% in with whatever you need from me or whatever I have to do to make anything happen. Like, that's always how I've been, especially with like, ventures that are like people will like collaborations and shit that what people bring together. And then you have some really cool thing in the outcome. But I was just like, I just want you to know that if I don't seem excited right now, I am excited on the inside, but I'll be more excited after things have happened for about a week. And he was like, I totally get it. But it's definitely something that we should talk about on another episode because there's a lot to go over there. But it's definitely a very funny range of emotions. And this is funny too to think like this was my first social interaction that I brought myself. I was sitting on my couch at like 4:00 and I knew that they close at about 6. And at the beginning of last week, or at the beginning of the week, I had messaged Sean and said, listen, I'll come by at some point this week and bring you pepperoni, because this is after I heard that he wanted to try it. And it's Saturday, so it's literally the last day of the week that I said I would bring it. And I didn't want to look like that guy who says they're going to do something and then doesn't come by. Sitting on the couch, it's 4:00, it's 4:15, it's 4:30. I'm like, all right, you can do this. You can go. So I
Is
got,
that
go ahead.
is that depression, or is that anxiety? Like, what is that? Because I do the same
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
What part of us I don't want to say procrastination, because then it like puts it in this like weird box. It's not procrastination.
Yeah, it was more anxiety. You know what it was? So I can definitely, a couple of the elements of what I was feeling then, it was anxiety. Simple things. Don't know where to park. Don't really know where it is. Are there going to be people there that I know? That was like the first thing.
Well, the parking thing's a real. That's a mind fuck. I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't want to book a show in DC because there's no parking.
Right? It's
Really?
like,
That's why. Throw a pair.
right?
Damn it.
just you'll figure it out. It was like
figure
the
it out.
surface things were like that, and then it was like, what if Sean's not there? Who do I ask for? What do I do with this bag of stuff? I'm gonna look like an idiot walking up because I've never been there before. So it was all of these like anxiety-ridden things of just like it was all unknown stuff, and I don't do well with unknown, especially. But you know, it was like, look on the other side. This is a friend's business who I've known for so long, who asks specifically for me to do this thing, which is a positive thing. And I'm sitting there on the couch, like watching the minutes go by, and like, I got to get there by 6 because that's when they close. So I finally I hopped in the shower. I got all my stuff together. I'm like, take a big breath. I got all the shit together. I was like, all right, let's go do this, and let's hope that he's there. And like, I parked, found easy parking, like right in front, no big deal, right? So that worry number one. So then I sit in my car for about 10 minutes. A car's running. I'm listening to like some rap playlist on Spotify. This is good. Like totally trying to like distract myself from the fact that I have like a very anxiety inducing moment, like stepping foot in somewhere that I don't, there's so many unknowns. Where's Sean? Where's the door? Who is, what is, all of those. But finally I walk in, and then a dude saw that I was like, I kind of like walked up, and he could tell that I have never been there before.
He's like, can I help you? Like, no.
And it just run. No, he was like, you need help with anything? I'm like, oh yeah, just do you know where Sean is? He's like, right there. So I walk in. Sean looks at me, huge smile. Oh, there he is. One of those, and I was like, you know what I mean? Like, it was all of that, like the last 2 hours of sitting on my couch and like procrastinating and being anxious. It was like, and so saying all of that stuff and listening to that whole journey, I knew that's how it would end. I knew that it would be fine. But we are still in that, like, in that mindset where we can't be convinced that it's going to be fine. There's always going to be that like little bit of unknown that makes the anxiety flare up and prevents you from really like going for it. But I knew it what really did it though? It's a business thing. I had to look at it that way. I was like, you're doing this because it's a business decision. Somebody wants to use the product that you're making. You started a small business. Why aren't you taking this opportunity more seriously? And I really had that discussion with myself in my head. And I was like, and that kind of kicked me into gear, and was like, all right, just fucking do this. If they don't like it, you don't care. I don't care if people don't like my stuff. You know what I mean? Like that weirdly doesn't affect me at all. Like if somebody's like, whatever, I'm like, that's fine, because people have their opinions on food. But
and because you're gonna find the people that like
exactly.
The people that like you are gonna find you.
Yeah.
I feel I'm kind of the same. I'm the same with that. Like if I'm on stage and like someone like the crowd's not feeling it, I'm like, all right, you guys are wrong. That don't matter to me. Like I've told these before. These all work. So
you're wrong. I'm right.
You don't gotta like it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yeah. So yeah, no, I think, but to answer your initial question, it's definitely just the anxiety, and it's like, it's what's prevented me from like what we're talking about earlier with friends and stuff. Like if I could do that, what I did today, because there's like more things happening now that people are being a little bit more lax with the socializations and stuff and whatever. But if I could bring myself to get off my couch at 4 p.m. on a beautiful Saturday and go to this thing that they have, and like just like go and like, because what they do over there, and they do this all over Providence, they have like little like markets and like, you know, the farmers market and like the makers tables, like people like small business and stuff. Why aren't I taking advantage of that? Maybe I'll meet a new friend. I'm not going to meet a new friend, but maybe I'll connect with somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what that sounds like to a normal person?
What?
Maybe I could get off the couch by 4 p.m. I'm so jealous of people without issues. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, I know they got like different issues, but
Maybe I could get out of my pajamas by 5 in the afternoon.
and it's great. It's just so funny because like people call it laziness,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. It's not late. I'll work. I'll work 16 hours a day if it's something I like to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just if it's something that I'm scared of, or I'm in a depressive state,
Mm-hmm.
it's not late. It's just I'm crippled with fear, or
Right.
I'm crippled with anxiety, or I'm crippled with depression.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. And it's
It's not, you know what I mean? Like, the both of us, like we've worked jobs where you're literally on 24 hours a day for 6 weeks.
yep.
Literally, you're on. No breaks.
Right.
I work. When I'm not working, I'm sleeping on the bus that's moving, that's
Yeah.
driving me to my next job. Like, it's not-
Like I'm at work while being driven to another work. Yeah. Yeah.
it's not the hours. I mean, yeah, it's not roofing, you know what I mean? But like, sometimes it is when you gotta like load equipment onto a 6 foot stage, and the guy doesn't have a ramp. Or in Games Oasis, you gotta go up those 4 flights of stairs.
Yeah. Oh God.
Right, it's not roofing. I get it, but not work.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that, like that comparative, like what you're saying. I hate that comparative, like competition of, oh well, I'm a roofer, so what the hell is you know, how hard could your job be? Well,
I find that surprisingly, the people with the very difficult job don't often do that.
yeah.
The people like me, where I'm like, I tell jokes. I recognize that it's not
Right.
roofing, but I don't think the roofer is like, come back to me when you're a roofer. I don't think he, you know what I mean? Because he's just like a blue collar guy, and
Yeah.
everyone's a blue collar guy.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe some guy out there is like, fucking comedian.
You know, there's
Start roofing.
of all the places where I've actually heard more that kind of like machismo, like I work harder than you kind of thing, is actually at poker tables, and I'm sure you probably can attest to that. Like the like older, like I own a construction company guy, or I got more money than like, oh, where you're getting your money from? Like I met a lot of those kind of guys, and it's really gross.
Well, they call it toxic masculinity.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, ew, God, stop. It's like, stop it. You don't know how gross you sound?
Stop it. Fucking Wayne or whatever. Did you watch that? Did you see Wayne on Amazon?
No, what's that? What's Wayne?
Yo.
Am I watching it tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's very good.
Okay.
Very good.
What's the premise? What am I in for? What are we in for?
17 or 18-year-old kid, just a mess, but like you just gotta.
All right. I like going into it blind.
Just gotta go. Maybe it's a little slow moving. It's definitely weird.
Okay.
Like it's definitely like, what the hell is? Oh, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's great, man. It's really great. Everything's executed well. The acting is unbelievable.
And it's new? This is a new thing?
I
You
saw
wish?
it over the Demic.
Over the demic.
Over the Demic. What are you drinking there? Is that a Arnold Palmer?
No, it's iced coffee. It's instant coffee that I made iced with a little tiny bit of oat milk vanilla creamer in it. I needed like a treat drink while I was getting shit ready tonight.
Yeah, I did the yellow Red Bull.
You're gonna be up until you have to leave in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to make sure that I was like,
Yeah,
I didn't want
you definitely
I didn't
were.
want to give you what?
You definitely were. You definitely got you going tonight.
Yeah, I didn't want to give you a
Sleepy time podcast.
sleepy. Yeah, like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I wanted to give you a firing on all cylinders. I want to give it to the people.
Yeah, the people, not me. Don't worry about me.
People, including you. You're part of the people. You're a
I'm a
person.
people.
Part of the people. You people. You people.
Folks, let's live, folks. All right, not you people.
Listen, listen, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. You people. I I'm gonna what do you think of um I think I'm gonna do it. If I talk about it, I'm gonna talk myself out of it.
All right.
See if we do it today or not. All right. How long what are we doing here?
Yeah,
How
I think
long-
we're good for this week. 52 minutes. Yeah, we're good. So thanks for everybody for either watching or listening. You know, it's always appreciated if you have any feedback. You know, contact one of us somehow. Only positive though. Only positive feedback. No
Yeah, I don't want
negative
any
feedback.
negative feedback.
No negative feedback. I can handle it. You won't hear from me ever again if there's negative feedback.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that I'm fat or that we're not funny. I don't care. Did in any of that. I want to hear. I tried Rich's bread. It's delicious.
It's the best thing you've ever put in your mouth.
I also want to hear that you supported Rosie Bubbles soap.
Yes. Yes.
I want to hear that you did that. I like small businesses.
Do you know, I mean, we'll wrap up here, but do you know how easy it is to become a small business? Have you ever, it's like, you pay a couple $100 and you get a couple pieces of paper and then you're a small business. It's like,
I have a tax ID number. I don't do anything.
yeah. I mean, it's like when I was setting this whole thing up, I couldn't believe actually how easy. I was like, oh, I could have done this years ago. Like what?
Yeah, you
All-
go on like LegalZoom and you get an LLC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
And then you have to go get a tax ID number, and
Yeah.
then you're
tax ID number took 2 minutes. You go on the IRS website and you get one.
Bango, bongo,
Bingo bango.
small business owner.
So yeah. So anyway, support my business. Support Neil Rubenstein if you're in any of the places that you are. Oh, did you know that I have a West Virginia tattoo? That's what I was going to tell you earlier. I have a tattoo of West Virginia on a gurney on the front of my ankle because.
Wait,
Go ahead.
the state of West Virginia
Yeah.
is on a gurney.
Yes. Like an outline of the state is on a
This is
hospital
gonna get-
gurney.
This is gonna get texted to me in a few minutes. A
I
photo?
can show it to you if you want. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would like a text with a photo of a.
Of the state of West Virginia on a gurney.
Why?
Because
Not that we need reasons.
Mike Hem played a show at a college in West Virginia. Everybody got salmonella poisoning on the crew, except like me and two other guys who were vegetarian. Apparently, the chicken dish in catering was tainted, and all the people who had the chicken got sick and were like hospital, like one after another people were in the hospital and like spread out between states and stuff. So when we finally all kind of recovered, everybody was kind of it was like the thing that happened on tour. We had a tattoo artist at one of the shows, and a bunch of us got Black Plague tattoos instead of the Black Parade. We got the Black Plague on West Virginia on the gurney.
Frank, do you have one?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I always think it's so funny because I have a core tattoo,
Mm-hmm.
that none of the band members have. I think it's so funny that the band never gets the
They never
tattoo.
get the tour tattoos. Yeah. Yep. I know Frankie and I have matching. We have the tooth. We have the little bloody tooth. I know we have that together.
I have the other bands get it. The band doesn't get
Uh
it.
huh.
So me, like the whole crew and all of Bayside
Mm-hmm.
have Taking Back Sunday tattoos. And those guys don't have it.
How does that work?
What is mine? What is that?
Yeah. I
Maybe
mean,
there'll be a tell all your friends 20. No. We'll hold John Nolan down. Make him get it.
all right, man.
It's fun because I feel like he's the only one that I could probably hold down at this point. Sean's like an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Mark O'Connell's a monster. Poor John. I'm gonna have to hold him down and
It's decided. That's it.
get him tattooed. You've been warned, Nolan.
It's coming for you. All right. Well, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Love you, Rich. Love you, audience.
Love you, Neil. Love you, audience.